Hi, this is Jaya. Now we shall see the summary of Versal Flummery, a one-act play written by A. Milne. And A. Milne is an English playwright, and this Versal Flummery is a very light comedy play, and the story is something which we cannot think it will happen in real life because it's an imaginary situation. The story is this, that is, suddenly two people are asked to change their names, and the full situation is really funny. That is, there are two people. That is, one person is Robert Crashaw and his friend is Richard Merriton, and they are very good friends, but they belong to the opposite political parties. Both of them are members of the parliament. And Robert Crashaw, he is a middle-aged man. He's about 44 years old, and he's in the opposite party. And Merriton is a man who is in the ruling party, and he's a man of principle. He is a young person. And this Merriton never gives importance to money. He gives more importance to his principles. And Robert Crashaw's wife is Margaret Crashaw, and they have a very beautiful daughter called Viola Crashaw. And this Merriton is a young man and he is not married, but he is in love with Viola Crashaw. And Viola Crashaw is worried whether her father will give her permission to marry Merriton, because Merriton does not give importance to money, therefore he is not that rich. Now the play starts, and Merriton and Viola, they meet each other, and Merriton's flat is in a construction. And at that time, Robert Crashaw, he calls him to his house for some time just to talk. And the lovers decide that this is the right time to announce their affair to Crashaw and get permission. And Viola tells that she is really frightened whether her father will agree to the marriage or not, because Merriton is not that very rich. And at the same time, um, she says that if you do not inform my father now, then we will not get a chance to tell him. And she says somehow we have to convince our father. So Crashaw comes to the house of Merriton comes to the house of Crashaw, and here Crashaw is searching for his wife Margaret, and Margaret comes and says that she has got important information to tell him. And he also says, I have an important matter to tell you. And he tells her that he's got a strange letter. And in the letter, it is said that he will get 50,000 pounds if he changes his name to Versal Flummery. And it is written and he got this letter from a person called Anthony Clifton. And he says, I don't know who this Anthony Clifton at all. And he says that this information was given to him by one person called as Dennis Clifton, who is a relative of the person Anthony Clifton, and Anthony Clifton has died. And after his death, this Dennis Clifton has given him this information. And it is not a small amount, it is 50,000 pounds. And Margaret considers this as a very strange, and she tells her husband, we should not leave this opportunity, because 50,000 pounds is a very big amount. But Crashaw says, how can I change my name suddenly? See, people know me by the name of Crashaw, and I am a member of a parliament, and my identity is my name. And how can I change? So they discuss about all the advantages they will have if they change their name, and how can he change the name and all that. And Margaret says, what is there in changing the name? Before marriage also, I was called by my maiden name, but now everyone calls me Mrs. Crashaw, and I'm used to it. Even you will get used to it, and people also will come to identify you with a new name. And she says, with 50,000 pounds we can buy another house, we can buy another car. And she says, so what? Take up this name, Versal Flummery. And Crashaw says, no, it's not possible. Everyone knows me only as Crashaw, and my identity will go and all that. And he says, and I can't even get used to it. And she says, when women can get used to their names after their marriage, the new names, why can't you do it? Everyone in the world, after marriage, the woman changes her name to suit her husband's name. In fact, they are called by their husband as Mrs. So and so. And the Crashaw then goes and asks the advice of Merriton. who, when on hearing it, he laughs at it and he says, what a funny idea, who's this person who said like that and all that. And when they are talking, Dennis Clifton, he comes there to the house, and he is funnily dressed, and seeing his dress itself, Crasho even doubts him whether what he's saying is real or is he playing a joke on them. And when Crasho introduces Meriton to him, immediately Clifton hands over another a letter to Meriton also. And in that letter, same thing is written to Meriton, saying that if you change your name to Virgil Flummery, you will get 50,000 pounds. And Meriton is irritated. He says, I'm going to leave this room. I can't sit here. It all looks very stupid and all that. And Viola takes him aside and she convinces him. She says, see, you are poor and I'm worried whether my father will agree to our marriage. But if you're going to get 50,000 pounds, then you'll be very rich and father will definitely agree to our marriage. If we have to get married, you have to agree to this. And Dennis Clifton, he explains that it is Anthony Clifton is his uncle, and he has planned it in such a way that if you two people who are in the rival politicians, if you change your names to Virgil Flummery, that is why he chose both of you, you will start a new clan. And this he wants to happen with his money. That is why he is giving 50,000 pounds, which is a very big amount. And then at this time, Viola thinks this is the best opportunity for her to break the news of her love with Meriton. She informs her father this. And Crasho, fully knowing that Meriton will be getting 50,000 pounds, he convinces him and he says, why don't you change your name and accept the money? At least if you want to marry my daughter, you have to change your name. And according to Crasho, if he inherits, he'll become rich. So he'll be getting his daughter married to a rich man. And Richard Meriton finally accepts to get 50,000 pounds for the sake of his love. And the lawyer Dennis Clifton is so pleased to hear that both of them are changing their names, and he thinks that the spirit of his uncle will be satisfied, because what he wanted is he wanted to start a new clan in the name of Virgil Flummery, and that has been done. And the best part is Virgil is a German word, and the meaning of it is a cause, a reason. And Flummery is a Welsh word which means nonsense. So you can understand what the name will be and what sort of a new clan it will be. And actually, if you see the play means, we'll be seeing this Dennis Clifton dressed up in a very funny way. So this is a very light-hearted, humorous one-act play written by A.A. Milne. I'm sure you will like the story. Like the video, share with your friends, and if you're not subscribed my channel, please subscribe. Thank you.